The suspect in the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson is appearing before a judge in a Pennsylvania courtroom for an extradition hearing regarding his case. He was reportedly brought into the courthouse shouting and struggling with officers. The court could decide the timeline for when he is set to return to New York following the attack. Police released the mugshot for 26-year-old Luigi Mangione a short time ago. In the meantime, officials in Altoona, the city in Pennsylvania where the suspect was arrested, are telling its officers to be careful because the department is now getting death threats. Police arrested Mangione at a McDonald's in Altoona yesterday after a customer recognized him and alerted an employee who called 911. He is now facing murder and weapons charges in New York City. Responding officers found this ghost gun in Mangione's backpack. They say the weapon is consistent with the gun used to kill Brian Thompson. These pictures obtained from the Altoona Police Department show body cam images of Mangione inside McDonald's prior to his arrest. They also found a 3-page handwritten document with him as well. He is now being held in custody as he awaits extradition to New York. Joining us here on set right now is in Studio 57 is Anna Schecter. She's a senior coordinating producer for our CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. And Rhona Tarrant is also in Studio 57. She's the executive editor of our CBS News Confirmed Unit. Thank you both so much for being here. So, Anna, that handwritten document, I have to think, contains a lot of information. What more are we learning about who this man is and maybe the picture that law enforcement is starting to get of a motive?
Well, sure. Well, police do believe that grievances against UnitedHealthcare in particular and the insurance companies, that business as a whole, are what motivated him to carry out this violence. They also believe that he may have been inspired by Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, that he read that book that Kaczynski wrote, posted a positive review online, and police are taking that into account. Also padded onto this motive, don't forget the deny, delay, depose words written on the bullets and shell casing. So all of this together is painting a pretty clear picture of what his target was.
Do we know anything more about that handwritten document, anything more of our reporting that you can tell us about what its contents contained?
Well, it was basically calling the insurance companies parasites, the executives parasites. It talked about how while these big companies are raking in profits, the healthcare companies specifically, the U.S. is number 42 in life expectancy. So he was ranting about how Americans are not reaping the benefits that the companies are.
Police are looking to tie, obviously, the suspect to evidence found in New York. Are they any closer to linking him to some of the items that were found?
Well, the clothing that was found on his person in Altoona, Pennsylvania, matched that of what the shooter was wearing. So there's that. He also presented the local police with this very same fake New Jersey driver's license that he used to check into that hostel on the Upper West Side. So that is firmed up. We're still waiting on confirmation on the gun. Was that actually the murder weapon?
What about the backpack that we see the suspect wearing in the surveillance images? Have police found the backpack?
So police believe that that backpack was discarded in Central Park. And that backpack, remember, contained Monopoly money, also a Tommy Hilfiger jacket. He also had another bag. This is one of my big questions. He had another bag with him at that McDonald's. He had a laptop and another bag. Where did he stash that bag? There are pieces to this puzzle of his planning, of the timeline, and we don't still have answers to those.
Yeah, his movements from New York to Altoona, how long he was in Altoona. We know you and your team will continue to dig on that. So, Rhona, the Confirmed team has also been looking into the suspect and his life leading up to the arrest. What are you learning?
So we know his life when he was in school. He was valedictorian in high school. He went to UPenn, and in 4 years, he didn't just get a bachelor's degree, he got a master's degree. This is someone who posted online. He had a blog. He had various accounts where he posted about computer science, artificial intelligence. He read widely. He had a Goodreads account where he read like books sort of from wellness to science and, as Anna just mentioned as well, the Unabomber's book too. But what's interesting is really his life after college. What happened? So we know he worked as a data engineer. We know he worked at the company up until about 2023. Now, he was remote when he worked for the company. He worked for a time from Puerto Rico. He lived in Hawaii. He sort of seemed to travel all over. We know that he went to Japan earlier this year, for example. But what's interesting when we were looking into his online accounts is he stopped posting on X around June this year. And we found several posts from people identifying as his friends saying, "Where are you? Are you okay? You know, we haven't heard from you. Your family is looking for you." So there seems to be very little activity over the last 6 months. And that's something police are going to be looking into. Where was he over those 6 months?
Is there information that your team has uncovered about why a healthcare CEO may have been targeted?
So what we've seen on the social accounts, as Anna was just mentioning, is he had an interest in healthcare. Now, we are seeing from his social media accounts as well that he posted frequently about back pain. Now, he had a condition, according to his social media posts, where his lower back was extremely painful. He looked for possible treatments that didn't contain surgery, but it does seem from some of those accounts that he did have a surgery. Now, we also know that he kind of posted anti-capitalist things. He spoke about greed in corporate America, but there was no mention. That was one thing I was looking for. Did he actually mention Brian Thompson specifically or UHC? We didn't see any mention of that. So it seemed to be a general grievance about the industry.
There are reports that officials are receiving messages that police have the wrong guy in custody. Any validity to these claims?
So as soon as that name came out yesterday, the internet sort of lit up. So there were numerous accounts impersonating him. A YouTube account, for example, was pretending to be him. We saw the McDonald's page flooded with bad reviews. And we're also seeing social media comments across the board saying, you have the wrong guy, this guy is being framed. Now, there's no evidence to that. What we're also seeing is there's real-world actions to this. The police station now is not only dealing with the case itself, but dealing with death threats, with calls. And the McDonald's employees are also fearful for their safety as well. So there is a legal process. It is going to be playing out in public, as we're seeing, and people can follow that along. But there is no evidence for these online conspiracy theories that, for example, that they got the wrong guy.
Very important point that this is a legal process, has to play out. Rhona, Tarrant, and Anna Schecter, thank you so much to you both.